Hello, my name is Dan Johnson and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the brand new Time War box set from Big Finish Productions, which is called Time War 8th Doctor Adventures Uncharted Box Set 2 Pursuit. There is going to be spoilers for the previous box set in the Uncharted saga, which came out last year. In this review, it's very difficult not to talk about this set without bringing up the ending of the previous box set, but I am going to keep the spoilers to a minimum. So at the end of the last box set ended with a rift between the Doctor and Alex. They've gone their separate ways. Alex has seen him to be a negative influence on the world and is going to go and do what he believes to be right. We have a new inhabitants of Gallifrey. We have the whole mystery with Friend going on. So in this set, we have 4 adventures where the Doctor and Friend pursue Cass and Alex in adventures that are semi-contained. Each story has its own identity. We have an episode with an auction, a bit like Downton Abbey as described in the behind the scenes. We have an episode that's very timey-wimey where our characters will interact with each other in a very unique way. We have a creepy nursery rhyme monster, and we have a grand finale. The structure of this set is really good, and like I said, having these two characters interact with each other but not really see each other is something that I really enjoyed, and how each writer took that on and added their own spin onto that. The middle two in particular I think used that really well, and they were my favourite in the set. It is worth mentioning that this story is quite confusing. There's a lot of different elements going on here. Last night I tried to explain what was going on in the box sets that I was listening to currently, and I did really struggle because there is a lot of elements and they're kind of all in left field, which is great because I love when they sort of take a little bit of a risk and do something a little bit outside the box. But I don't feel like we've really got any answers for this yet. We have one more set in this saga, so 3 more hours, and I just feel like at this point I'd like to have a few more answers than we currently do. Last time I said how much I enjoyed this dynamic, and I still continue to do so. I think Alex is a really great companion, played amazingly by Sonny McGann, and I think that the two of them interacting and working together is a great thing to listen to, and the writing that they're given is also great. There's slight spoilers coming up about their relationship, so if you want to, I would suggest skipping forward slightly. But I have to say that I was slightly disappointed with how this sort of wraps up. I believe there'll be a fallout to this in the next box set. I mean, there's bound to be. He actually says that he doesn't want to talk about it right now and they shall talk about it at another point. So I suppose they're just kind of stretching it up the arc across the 3 box sets. I understand that there's been more going on than just Alex's own feelings, but I think that that mindset that he was in was beyond any sort of control or influence. I think that there needs to be a conversation talking about it. And I'm sure there will be in the next box set, but it just felt really disheartening for me that it kind of gets wrapped up in this set, but doesn't really have the fallout or the weight that it should. Friend continues to be a really cool idea. I do feel like it's becoming a little bit of a niche, though, because with the 2 people that play Friend in this set, they are people I've never heard of. In fact, the behind the scenes kind of fills me in with a little bit of background information about them. But I do feel like they need something that's a bit more heavy hitting. They need Liv Chenka, or they need even a Lucy Miller. I know Sheridan Smith would blow the budget, but I think that having a companion that has spent more time with the Doctor than a short span, 10 years ago, would benefit how I feel about this character, because it's beginning to wane a little bit. I'm excited for the conclusion of it, and I am hoping that it's a good one. I'm hoping that Bliss gets to come back in some form because of it. I'm hoping that there'll be a moment of realization pretty soon, and then that will be a really satisfying moment. But I do think that the more that they continue on with this sort of trope of bringing someone in to keep playing it, when we get to this reveal, it's not going to feel the same, because I feel like we've just sort of been waiting for it for so long, especially when the next box set doesn't come out till next year. Am I still going to be as interested as I am now about that in a year's time? I mean, probably, yeah. But the overarching narratives do seem to be wearing a little bit thin. They have these really big, exciting ideas, and yet they're sort of still focusing on individual stories. And I think that these big ideas need to have their time to shine. and there's so many going into the final box set with only 4 hours left, that I'm a little bit worried that some of them are going to get left to the wayside a little bit. I really want to explore the identities of these new Time Lords. I really want to explore what Cass is and the Hieronyma thing, and I'm hoping that it all gets paid off nicely in the next set. I said in the previous review that I did of Reflections last year that it does really depend on how this next set plays out, and I'm very tempted to just say that again. There are so many good moments and questions are being answered, but they feel like little droplets, and that makes it quite hard to recommend. I love this range, and I think some of the issues I'm having are not based on the stories themselves, but based on the release schedule, and if there was less of a gap between these stories, then I think that the narrative would flow a bit nicer. If you love the Time War, if you love the Eighth Doctor, if you love stories that keep you wrapped up in a mystery, then this set is incredible. In May next year, when the final set is released, I am going to be downloading it straight away, and I am going to get through it so quickly because I am so excited to see what's going to happen. So for that, I have to recommend it, but I also feel like I need to point out some of the issues that it's having. Now, these lights are getting hot and I'm starting to get delirious. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. I have a review of Dark Gallifrey Missy coming up at some point later this month. And of course, we have the 13th Doctor's Adventures starting on the 3rd of July, I believe. My reviews will probably be about that weekend. I have a Big Finish playlist that has all of my reviews from the last year, which is weird to think that I've nearly been doing this sort of video for a year. I also have a podcast which is back currently, where you can see a video every week on a Tuesday. I have a commentary track, I have an interview coming up, my friends are mucking around with Doctor Who monsters. It's really exciting and I hope you check it out and enjoy it. But until next time, thank you very much for watching and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.